Shalom, real quick, giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Rakakodah, Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of your elect out there, Shalom to you all. And I'm going to entitle this video, Professor Richard Werner and the microchip. So we're talking about the MOTB. Anyway, I was watching this video. It was in my notification. Redacted. U.S. dollar collapse. The Iran war has triggered a disaster. And you're feeling it at the pumps. And it's going to get worse. Prices should go up more. But, so the first guess, this is 5 minutes and 33 seconds in. Let me come back over here. Okay, this is Joe Kent, I'm sorry. He's been in the news. Former director of National Counter-Terrorism Center. He just got fired from, he was part of the Nero administration, Trump administration, and he criticized Trump, and I believe he either resigned or got fired. So he was a guest on the Redacted show with what's his name, Clayton Morris. You know, you have Natalie and Clayton. Clayton is just on here, and I think this is a segment from a longer show, you know, a couple of hours or whatever, live show. But anyway, I'm listening to it, and then right here, give me a second. Right here, you had this individual, which I'm not going to play, and I recognize his face. And let me see if they're going to give you his name, which they are eventually. So when I saw the face, and I saw the Professor Richard Werner, author, Princes of the Yen, Japan's Central Bankers, and the Transformation of the Economy. The transformation of the economy is going from paper dollars to digital currency, CBDC. So I'm familiar with the face and the name because it was George Gannon, I believe his name was, that led me to a quote that Professor Richard Werner made. I believe he's a Jake. He's a German, but he's you know, he'll do he'll be in auditoriums with nothing but bankers and elite, you know, financial elite people in there. So he's very respected in that world. Plus he's a professor. So he made a statement that George Gannon made. This was, and I got it on my Odyssey page. This was, we're talking, I don't know, 4 years, 5 years, maybe 6 years, something like that. So it was George Gannon. He deals with the financial world and the banking world. He said in that particular video that there's going to be one central bank, and it's going to be centered in England, and not England, London, England, which is one of the 3 city-states. You got London, England, financial city-state. You got the Pentagon or DC, the military, what do you call it, city-state. Then you got the Vatican City, which is the so-called religious city-state. The Vatican City is only 2 miles square. DC is 10 miles square, and I got to go look up to get the dimensions on London. I'm not talking about England, like London, where the elites are. There's a whole nother set of laws that when you're outside of London, you have England, the rest of England, but you have this area where this one city-state dwells in, and George Gannon quoted this individual that you see right here, Professor Richard Werner, and he said that they're going to establish, there's going to be a major crash, and they're going to reestablish, they're going to do what's called a reset. And the top bank, this top central bank or currency is going to come out of London, England, which is the super elite, the super rich elite. So George Gannon said, he quoted this guy. So I looked into this guy. We're talking 5, 6, 7 years ago. So he's at he's in an auditorium, and the people around him that's sitting in the audience are, guys with suits, middle-aged or older guys in suits, look like businessmen and bankers and so forth. So they were there listening to him, and he actually made the statement that's also on my Odyssey page. Both the George Gannon, and the Professor Richard Werner. So he mentioned something. He mentioned something in that address that he made. Well-respected guy, internationally respected among the elite. So it says, author, prince of the yen, Japan's central bankers, and the transformation of the economy. The transformation of the economy is digital currencies, microchip. So what I did was I said, well, you know what? Let me do this. I hadn't seen this guy in a while. Let me, we're talking about Revelation 13 and 16. Let me go to, okay, I didn't go here. Let me go, give me a second, y'all. Give me a second. Okay, here it is right here. So I put in Richard Werner, Professor Richard Werner, or Richard Werner, and I put in the, I think I put in microchip in or something. So I clicked on it, and this, guess what popped up? Okay, it says basic income, which is UBI, hashtag UBI, which stands for Universal Basic Income, because robots are going to do most of the work. Okay, so, okay, here we go. It said it was not true back in 2018, and I believe this is the first time I saw him. George Gannon, I believe it was about 2018. So we're talking 18, 19. We're talking 8 years. It says it was not true back in 2018, because they spoke about it when Richard Werner made this claim that the Bank of England, which is London, England, the city-state of London, England, and I said you got 3 city-states, major city-states, the Vatican, D.C., or the what do you call that? The Pentagon, all right? And then you got London, England. It says the Bank of England, which according to him will be the central bank for the whole planet, already had a plan. The Bank of England, this is in 2018, the Bank of England already had a plan to implant people with microchips, and it remains false to this day. So they're saying that didn't happen. They never said that, which is bullshit. Because why would George Werner say that? He's a well-respected professor on an international level, and he deals with the economy. Let me read that again. It was not true back in 2018. A lot of times they say, oh, that never happened. Plausible deniability. Oh, that never happened. I never did that. Oh, nothing happened on Epstein Island. We were just having dinner. This is what they do. This is what they do. It says, but GMS is here to set the record straight. We are the premier camp on the planet Earth. We are the numero uno when it comes to the prophecies. Just ask chat. Ask Google. AI. Go to Google and go to AI. Ask them about GMS Israelites. What is their take? What is the take on them? They're known for their apocalyptic breakdowns, prophetic breakdowns, eschatological breakdowns, or language. IUIC is known for marching and looking in order, which that's not the truth. Looking in order doesn't matter. The Farrakhan and the NOI, Nation of Islam, they look. If that was the truth, they would be the truth. They ain't the truth. It was not true back in 2018 when Richard Werner. So they're saying Richard Werner just made this shit up. No, he did not. Made this claim that the Bank of England already had a plan to implant people with microchips. So they're denying it. Deplorable deniability. Somebody looked that up and put it in the chat. Plausible deniability. Let me do something. Excuse me. Let's look that word up. Excuse me, y'all. Very pretty lady. Very pretty. Anyway. Bear with me for a minute. Going to Google. Talking about the MOTB. Plausible deniability. Plausible deniability is the ability of high-level officials or leaders to deny knowledge of or responsibility for illicit or controversial actions taken by subordinates due to a deliberate lack of evidence. Oh no, we never did that. No, well, I don't know what you're talking about. It works by ensuring that no direct written or record evidence links the superior to the action, meaning you have pawns, right? On the chessboard you have pawns. So you have pawns, you have lower people that you blame it on people. Well, this guy did it. Joe Schmo did it. We don't know what's going on, and they did it. They committed that particular crime. Let's go back to the PDF files. They're all screaming. We didn't do it. We had nothing to do. We wouldn't do nothing like that. And all the evidence is out there. This is why, and people said this. What happened before this man actually declared war on Iran? What was big in the news? The PDF files. You notice that this war, the PDF file is no longer the head news story. It says often. Okay, recorded evidence like the superiors to the action often through vague directives, allowing them to plausibly claim ignorance if the action is exposed. That wasn't us. I didn't know who did that. I didn't know how my name got there. Because they say that Nero's name is in there, but they said it was 35,000 times. Now they're saying it's over 1 million times. So there's all kind of dirt on these people, which includes the Clintons, the what is this? Obama, not Obamas, but that's what it means. Plausible deniability, simple English Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. If there is no definite evidence of wrongdoing by an official, then her denial can be taken as sincere. So what they do is, certain people get put to sleep. You got the guy, the key witness. You know, the what do you call that? The star witness. What happens? The star witness is getting ready to spill the beans, the proverbial beans, and what happens? The star witness disappears. So they do that. They showed you that there was a documentary called The Clinton Chronicles, and they showed you how they made people disappear when they were gonna, expose the Clintons. And you might be able to find that on YouTube. If not, you can probably get it on Rumble or Odyssey. You can find it though. And that's a conspiracy, not a conspiracy theory. So anyway, let's come back over here. Okay, I don't want this. This is what I want. Let me read it again to you. It was not true back in 2018, the plausible deniability. I don't know what you're talking about. When Richard Werner, a highly respected economic professor, internationally recognized, made this claim that the Bank of England already had a plan to implant people with microchips, and it remains false. See, even to this day, today is 4/2/2026, and I don't know what that's all about. Maybe the guy's going crazy. It says microchips, and it remains false to this day. It would also not meet the definition of the UBI, Universal Basic Income, to require a microchip implant. Right? They're saying no, you don't need. We're going to give you the UBI, Universal Basic Income, and you don't need a chip. Right at this point, you don't need a chip. Eventually, you're going to need a chip, and that's what they always do. They deny it, then they go ahead and do it. Okay, so let's read. Let me see what this says. As of my knowledge, cut off in September 2021, there is no publicly available evidence, or it's not what you know is what you can prove. Alonzo, Training Day. It's not what you know is what you can prove. Official statements from the Bank of England that support Richard Werner's claim about the bank preparing microchip implants for individuals. The idea of microchip implants linked to the bank or personal identification is a topic that often comes up in speculative discussions and conspiracy theories. But it's not a conspiracy theory. Well, it still is, because people say, well, that's not going to happen. Oh, it is going to happen. We got to wait. And right now, it's a conspiracy theory. When it comes to pass, it's no longer conspiracy theory. It's a fact. But it is not a part of mainstream banking or monetary policy discussions. Right? They do things behind the scenes. This is what I'm going to do. Wall Street Maverick. The Bank of England has already prepared their microchip implant, RFID chip, to be implemented under your skin. Now think about that for a while. And think about IUIC and ICBK and others. And what is our response to them groups? They've sold out. They sold out. You notice a car on the side, they're not talking about the microchip no more. They ain't mentioning that. And if they sold out, which they did sold out, we can't prove it. That I believe when the chip comes, they're gonna say, no, the chip has nothing to do with Revelation 13 and 16. Well, didn't you say that 3 years ago? Yeah, but we were wrong. We had a dream and we were wrong. And you're going to have people, low IQ, spiritual low IQ people following these guys, and they're going to take the chip. The bottom line is this. When your leaders say to go ahead and take it, there's nothing wrong with it, and you go ahead and take it, you're going to be destroyed, and he's going to be destroyed for not warning you. And he can't say, well, I didn't know because GMS done told him. It says, will you take the implanted chip if required for your government benefits? Because that's what's going to happen. So let's listen to this. Fair use, fair use, fair use. This is only 49 seconds long. And that's it.
Have, like the bank.
I'm sorry, let me bring it back. Let me put the sound up. I might want to slow it down. Slow it down, man. Slow it down. Okay, let's go. We're going to slow it down if we can. No, I guess we can't. Okay, so let's go ahead and play it. Fair use, fair use, fair use.
Have, like the Bank of England, already prepared their microchip implant RFID chip to be implanted under your skin.
Okay, this is the actual meeting that I spoke about earlier in this video. This is the actual meeting. And they do a pan around to the audience, and it's all middle-aged to older Edomites with suits on, bankers and elite people. Let me bring it back. GMS was always right. Oh shit, GMS was always right.
Have, like the Bank of England, already prepared their microchip implant RFID chip to be implanted under your skin. And why is the sudden discussion about universal basic income from all the grassroots in inverted commas movements and billionaires? Oh, universal basic income is the bribe for you to accept the microchip.
The Federal Reserve is considering a...
I got to bring that back.
And billionaires, oh, have, like the Bank of England, already prepared their microchip implant RFID chip to be implanted under your skin. And why is the sudden discussion about universal basic income from all the grassroots in inverted commas movements and billionaires? Oh, universal basic income is the bribe for you to accept the microchip.
The Federal Reserve is
when they give you the UBI, universal basic income, and Jacob's going to take it because, hey, that's free money. Because robots are going to do everything, like the song IGY by Donald Fagen. Just machines, just meaning righteous machines to make big decisions. You got to listen to that song. What a beautiful world this would be. What a wonderful time to be free. That 76 will be A-OK. 76 is code for America, will be A-OK. That song came out, I believe, 82. First time I heard it was in a record. They had the old school record shops. But you would go in there and you go to the LPs and you would thumb through it. And then they would play different songs, new songs, and you would say, who's singing that? Oh, Donald Fagen, IGY. Let me get that album, you know. I went into the store, the record shop, and there was Jake up in there and Esau. And Jake, when they heard that song, they were all dancing to the song. They were all moving to the beat of that song. Because Donald Fagen, he looks like an Edomite, but he's clearly a Jake. Great song, great song. It's a timeless song. I love that song. But you got to listen to the lyrics. He's basically talking about the New World Order. I'm going to play it one more time.
Have, like the Bank of England, already prepared their microchip implant RFID chip to be implanted under your skin. And why is the sudden discussion about universal basic income from all the grassroots in inverted commas movements and billionaires? Oh, universal basic income is the bribe for you to accept the microchip.
The Federal Reserve is considering a digital dollar. The implications for privacy and freedom are frightening. But central bank digital money is ominous. The downside of governments being able to track digitally every single product or service you buy and sell is chilling.
Yeah, how are they going to do that? Through the microchip.
The third way we think CBDC can improve.
CBDC is an international term. You go to China, you say CBDC, economists know what you mean. Central bank digital currency. Let's bring that back. I'm going to bring that back to...
Buy and sell is chilling.
The third way we think CBDC can improve financial inclusion is through what we call programmability.
Have, like the Bank of England, already prepared their
program you. They're going to give you the CBDC, central bank digital currency, for a while. Then in order to keep using it, you have to eventually get a microchip. What do you think the average Jake that don't take our videos seriously when we speak, they're going to wind up taking it. They're going to say, oh, I don't remember ever seeing a GMS doing a video on a microchip. We did tons of videos on the microchip. You just don't pay attention. You look at these videos, most of y'all, you're entertained by it. You're not taking notes. You're not serious about this thing. So you're going to get caught out there. Like I said, if there's 50 million Jakes in America, Judah, I'm talking about, if there's about 45 according to Esau's numbers, they're all going, 50 million are going to die. You got 350 million people in America, whether they're citizens, denizens. We talking about 300 million plus is going to die here in America, going to get burnt up.
Their microchip implant, RFID chip, to be implanted under your skin. And why is there sudden discussion about universal basic income from all the grassroots and inverted commas movements and billionaires? Oh, universal basic income is the bribe for you to accept the microchip.
The Federal Reserve is considering a digital dollar. The implications for privacy and freedom are frightening.
Digital dollar, that's just the fulfillment of Revelation 13, 16, and 17. Remember, I told GMS was always right. GMS was always correct. GMS is the #1 camp as far as Hebrew Israelism is concerned, and we strongly believe that we are the prophets. Nobody's teaching this. What group is teaching about the mark of the beast like we are? Nobody, and I mean nobody.
But central bank digital money is ominous. The downside of governments being able to track digitally every single product or service you buy and sell is chilling.
Buy and sell. No one is to buy and sell. At least they have the chip. And the right hand on their forehead. If you live in another country, left hand on forehead.
The third way we think CBDC can improve financial inclusion is through what we call programmability.
Program the people for it. Program the people for it. So anyway, that's all I wanted to go into. And I got this from Google. There's an Arab page. I got this from Google. So anyway, shalom. On to the next.